Hey, Nathan Daniel here. It's time for another video. I know it's been a while, but today is a very special day because it is the day that Apple releases its new line of products, or as I like to call it, the first day of autumn. So I got my flannel, I got a pumpkin spiced ice cap from Timmy Ho's, and I am ready to talk about some Apple products. Now, before we go any further, I do want to ask you to bear with me. I have had this video planned for a long time. I planned on sitting down, planning it all out, pulling together all the rumors, and then giving you everything in the world about what could happen at this event. And then I ended up in the hospital. I'm not going to go into that because it's a long story. And I'm on antibiotics. So I was also going to pop some champagne like I did last year, but we can't because the doctors say not to. Now, I do plan on giving you an update on that. I'm fine, but I'll give you an update on that hopefully by Monday. No promises, though, because I'm horrible at sticking to deadlines. I'm very bad at giving you what I promise, so I'm sorry about that. But at least we all know. Anyhow, without further ado, we're going to jump into some of the most common rumors. If you don't follow Apple like I do, these will be new to you. If you do follow Apple, you're probably going to know them all, so you might want to just click away. Or you can watch them and then call me out in the end about everything I missed, which I'd rather you do. So call me out. Do it. First, what we're going to talk about is the iPhone. Of course, it's the iPhone event every September. So this year, they're going to do something different. They're going to have 3 iPhones instead of 2. And I'm going to call them something different than every single analyst is calling them because I don't like their names, and I hope Apple's choosing mine. Don't think they will. But a little background, the reason I chose these names is because when the iPhone X was released, I think it's upside down, the iPhone X was released, they called this the iPhone of the future. And they skipped number 9. So, I'm thinking they're going to get rid of numbers completely. They're going to do a whole new nomenclature. And they're going to call the entry-level iPhone, which is a newer one, the iPhone SE. They've already used this before. I think they're going to reboot it. Just like the original SE, it's going to be an entry-level device. It's going to feature a 6.1-inch screen. And it's going to have a bezel-less display, just like the iPhone X. You can't see because I use a MacBook Air to film. But it's going to have a bezel-less display, just like the iPhone X. It's going to feature an LCD screen to keep costs low, but it will feature the famous notch, which means a true depth camera and Face ID, which, of course, that means no more home button, no more Touch ID. Sorry, diehards. The future's here. It's also going to have multiple colors similar to the 5C. They're going to be bright, colorful. It's going to be a fun phone. Rather than a stainless steel edge, though, it is going to have aluminum, again, to keep costs down, but also keep that shiny new look that they released with the 10. It will have a single rear-facing camera rather than the dual rear-facing cameras that the iPhone X has. See, there's 2 there if you didn't realize that. And it will have a glass back, just like the 10, to enable wireless charging. This is something Apple's moving towards, and I wouldn't be surprised if in 2019 we see them completely get rid of the charging port. I can't wait. Now, since this is an entry-level phone, it's going to be at the lower end of the spectrum. I think we're going to see prices closer to what we used to see with iPhones seen as a premier. iPhone's always been a premier product. I think they're going to go back to their original pricing of about $700 with this one. So it is going to be about $300 cheaper than the 10. The second iPhone, I think we're just going to call it iPhone. It's going to be what would have traditionally been called the XS. I really hope they don't go with XS. It sounds weird. It's confusing. Mainly because it's not even called X, it's called 10. So, I don't know. I like iPhone. Because again, iPhone of the future. It's going to feature a 5.8-inch screen with an OLED display. It's going to have that same bezel-less display as the 10 did, with the true depth camera, that notch. It'll have Face ID, no home button, sticking with that same design. It's going to keep the stainless steel edge, and it'll probably come in the same colors that the original did. And again, this device will have a glass back, which will enable wireless charging. Internally, we'll expect an A12 Bionic chip, which means faster processor, and I also expect a faster battery life. The next phone is going to be the larger one. It's what would have traditionally been called the X or 10S Plus. I'm calling it the Max because recent reports say that Apple's wants to drop that Plus label. So instead of just iPhone Plus, I've changed it to iPhone Max. Again, analysts don't like my names. They're calling them something different. Yeah, we'll see. So this model will feature a 6.5-inch OLED bezel-less display. If I'm not mistaken, it will be the largest iPhone ever. Again, just like the others, it'll have that true depth camera with the notch and Face ID, no home button or Touch ID. It'll have a stainless steel edge, and I think that this premium model will probably come with 1 or 2 new color options. I don't even remember what colors the original 10 came in, but maybe a gold, and I think it did not have a space gray, so maybe we'll see that. Again, another glass back wireless charging. Apple's really pushing for this. I expect that this model will have the same internal specs as the 10's reboot. Maybe the possible addition of a third rear-facing camera. This would mean better cameras in low light, or better pictures in low light situations, and it'll help for Apple's push into that AR, that augmented reality. They're really pushing for it. They think that's the future, and I agree with them. Some rumors suggest, HiPug, that both of the OLED devices will offer Apple Pencil support. I'm honestly not so sure about that because I don't know how big of a draw that'll be to get people to upgrade or to move over to iPhone. I just don't see a big demand on using an Apple Pencil on a phone. They're too big. They're not going to compete like the Note 3, like the Samsung Notes did, that you can house the stylus right in the phone. It would just be another big item to carry in your pocket. I don't think they're going to do it. Something else that we can expect is a new version of Face ID. So that means that we will no longer have those embarrassing moments where you wake up and your phone won't unlock because you have puffy morning face. If it doesn't happen to you, you're lucky. It happens to me almost every day. Next is the iPad. We're expecting 2 models of an iPad Pro, a 10.5-inch and a 12.9-inch. The good news is they don't have to get much bigger because we're going to, again, adopt that bezel-less display, drop that home button, and move to Face ID. That may mean a notch, but we have something more on that in just a minute. An interesting report from Bloomberg says that it's going to be able to unlock in landscape mode, meaning this way. Currently, Face ID doesn't work like this with the iPhone, so if it does with the iPad, we may see Apple carry that over to the iPhone models, but who really knows? There's also strong evidence from a battery usage icon found in iOS 12 that says that there will be no home button, which we expected, but also no notch. So that would tell us that Apple found a way to put the true depth camera underneath the screen, which means in future iPhones we may expect that as well. I wouldn't say that's going to happen this year. Also, I'd say be prepared to say goodbye to the 3.5mm headphone jack. With the wild success of the AirPods, I would say Apple's ready to ditch those and move to either wireless or lightning adapter. All of this, along with regular performance increases and speed, battery, gives anyone considering an upgrade a reason to be happy. Apple Watch. I'm honestly really excited about the Apple Watch. I broke mine again, so I am going to upgrade this year to Series 4. We're looking at a complete redesign of Apple's Watch, something they haven't done since they released it. I think 4 or 5 years ago. We're looking at a bigger screen, but not a bigger watch, because again, we're adopting a bezel-less display. That bigger display is going to allow for more information to be displayed on the screen, which will include 8 complications. This leaked photo from 9to5Mac shows that alleged display. This is supposedly a leaked photo from Apple. And on here you can see a kind of fun complication, which is a UV index indicator. That's something that I do not believe is on any other smartwatch. So again, Apple pushing into that health sector really far. And with the completion of the Apple Heart study, I just got my notification not that long ago that my time in the study had ended. A lot of other people are going to start receiving those notifications as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see a lot more health-focused settings and features with the new watch, including maybe some new workout motions. Some other new features, such as some more complications other than that UV display, that UV index, as well as sleep tracking, which should mean better battery life, because Apple's reason for not allowing native sleep tracking before is because they wanted people to charge their watch at night. So it either means better battery life or faster charging, which I think all of us can get behind. Yeah, so if you're looking to get into the smartwatch game, or you're considering upgrading from a Series 2 or older, I think this year might be the year to do it. And again, of course, the Series 4 will offer the same LTE support as the Series 3 did. They may even get rid of the non-LTE version. I've seen some reports to that, but I'm not so sure. I think that some people would still like a tethered version, because non-tethered version just means another bill. Charging. I think that we're going to finally see the release of 2 products that Apple announced, I think, over a year ago now. The first being a wireless AirPods case. The original case, I don't know where mine went, right here. It'll look just like this, except it will move the battery indicator light, which you can't see. It's on the inside, mine's green right now, to the outside, so you won't have to open it up to check your battery power, which is great. But it will also support wireless charging, so you just throw it on that QI charging pad, and it'll charge up for you. I do not believe, unfortunately, that we'll see a second version of the AirPods, but we will get a case which we can purchase separately. AirPower. This is a charging mat that Apple announced a year ago at last year's September event. It allows us to charge our iPhone, our Apple Watch, and our AirPods all at the same time. Now, the reason why this is such a big deal is because each of these devices charge at a different rate. They use different amounts of power to charge. So Apple had to make sure that it's perfectly calibrated every single part of the pad, so no matter where you put any of these devices, it's able to provide that specific device the right amount of power. And I think that they finally got it right. A lot of rumors say that it's a September release this year, So I think we're going to hear that announcement as well. And I think I've probably missed a couple rumors, maybe a couple products, but some things that we might see, but I don't think we will, are the new version of AirPods. This version is said to provide Hey Siri support and noise cancellation. I think that we're going to see this come out in 2019, though. And then even further version of the products, maybe AirPods 3, will have some sort of waterproof feature. 2 is an Apple brand over-the-ear wireless headphone. Think Beats. With the success of AirPods, I think Apple's going to get an Apple-branded headphones. I think it's a great move. They might even have Apple Hey Siri support right from the beginning. Don't have much on that because there's not many details. But that's what we have going on. We may see some other announcements related to Apple TV and Macs, but I think that both of these are going to be pushed to a yet-to-be-announced October event, because there's already so much going on in today's event. I think that we'll see something to do with the Apple TV console and new Macs in October. And one last thing that you should listen for is any hints or details about Apple's upcoming streaming service. As you may know, Apple announced last year that it would be putting $1 billion into a streaming service. That budget is for original content. It's already announced about 24 shows and movies, original content for this platform. There's not really any information about it other than the fact that it will debut in 2019. So maybe we'll get a hint about that. Maybe it'll be Tim Cook's One More Thing. But regardless, I'm really excited about this because there's a lot of speculation that there will be bundles with it. So an Apple Video, I'm calling it Video because there's already an Apple TV. So an Apple Video bundle along with Apple Music and an upcoming news subscription. If they bundle that all together, hopefully they'll be able to compete with big names like Netflix and Hulu, which they're really looking to do. So keep an ear open for something about that. Tim Cook was nice enough to drop a couple hints at WWDC back in March, so maybe he'll do it again. So there you have it. Like I said, I was in the hospital earlier this week, and so I literally just put this list together from memory before I clicked record, so I may have missed something. Go ahead in the comments down below. Let me know if I missed anything. But these are some of the most promising rumors swirling around ahead of today's event. So if you're as excited as me, be sure to tune in at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch live on Twitter this year, or you can tune into apple.com and watch there. The event is live from the Steve Jobs Auditorium on the new Apple campus. Like I said, if there's any rumors I missed, be sure to let me know below. After the event, let me know what products you are most excited about. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow me on social media, it's at Nathan Daniel on Twitter, at NathanDaniel03 on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere else. And if you like this video and you want more, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, be loud, be heard, but most importantly, be yourself. See ya.